I am so ecstatic that I have this sense of freedom. I have this sense of feeling at home in my body. Whew. I don't know if I've ever been able to say that this is the sweet body that I was given and I need to take care of it. And it has gotten me to this point in my life. And instead of hating on it, I need to nourish it so that I can continue to go and do my things. And it will take me with, it will take me to those places. This was by far the most brilliant investment I have made. It was worth every penny, every penny.
In the 5th grade, at age 10, my Slim on Starch client Jackie was diagnosed as morbidly obese. Throughout her youth and into her adult years, Jackie struggled with low self-esteem and low self-confidence. She tried all the different diets, but at age 60, still found herself wrestling with these struggles. She'd been following me on YouTube, trying to implement what she was learning, but was having trouble for an array of reasons. She decided to join the 6-week Slim on Starch program and then continued our work together into the master's program. She has finally, in her words, dropped the angst and the self-loathing. She's no longer in a battle with food, and as she says, I feel so liberated. Oh, and as a bonus, she released the weight that her body doesn't need to hold on to anymore. Jackie is free, and today she shares her story with us.
Where does your story first begin?
Well, a long time ago, actually, when I was growing up, I was a fat kid and I was harassed for it and made fun of by not only peers, but my family. So I think the emotional part of all of that really began when you're supposed to feel safe and secure in the cradle of your family's arms, and that wasn't happening because I was feeling rejected and that I wasn't good enough or worthy enough when I was a kid. So I began to get this defensiveness and creating this protective wall, and it just kind of progressed, and I never really addressed it until much later in life.
And these are critical years where we form our sense of self. We don't just magically grow out of it. It carries with us into adult years. And I know that
Exactly.
that you had noted that lack of confidence and low self-esteem was something that had to be addressed in the adult years.
Yes. Yeah, and it was a very challenging, it was a very challenging dynamic for me that I wasn't aware of. Life was really hard I was very defensive. I was always wondering what people thought of me. And now that I can look back at it and understand what was going on, it makes a lot of sense. But at the time, it was like, is my life going to feel like this forever? I don't know. It was really hard growing up, feeling like I wasn't good enough.
You had noted that you tried some diets in order to relieve yourself of this issue, which is often the case. We think, oh, the answer is in the diet, the answer is just in the food. When, coming into SOS, we realize it's not just the food, it's the mindset as well. But do you want to share with us what you tried to alleviate these, self-confidence, self-esteem issues, lose weight? Will you share that with us?
I got married when I was 21, and so of course I wanted to lose weight so that I would look fabulous for my wedding. So I signed up at a place where you would go and get injections and have these vitamins that ended up making me feel like I was on speed, and really restrictive calories. And yes, I lost the weight. And in retrospect, I really felt like crap. I didn't have any energy. I was always hungry. I was cranky. And then the weight came back. Within a couple of years, I was back to, I had lost about 13 pounds, and then I was back to where I was before. and then I started, getting into aerobics and exercising. And, while that felt really good in my body, and it really had some effects with the hormones in my body, which I wasn't really conscious of, that's what was going on. I found that the more excessively that I worked out, the hungrier I got. And so I ate more, and I wasn't eating the right foods. Now I know that. So then I went to Weight Watchers. And first, what else I did? I forgot all about it. Is that I did that Susan Powter Stop the Insanity. I don't know if you remember her. She was like, she shaved her hair and was like blonde, really super blonde. And she was promoting carbs as the way to go, but didn't make the distinction really about anything else. And it was a lot of working out. So I did that and didn't really find a lot of success in losing the weight. Then I jumped to Weight Watchers, and Weight Watchers worked for me. But the whole counting points was crazy making for me. I kind of get a little neurotic about that stuff anyway. So let's just make part of everyday life, right? It's over the top for me. And it wasn't sustainable for me. I mean, I lost the weight and then I gained it back. After that, I went to another medically, gosh, this sounds really crazy. I went to another medically supervised, they had nurse practitioners there, where I was getting injections and vitamin D shots and pills, and not, they were telling, and at that time I had already changed to vegan. I cut out all meat and dairy, but wasn't doing whole food plant-based. I really didn't have any concept of what that was at the time. So that wasn't working for me. I still had lots of body image stuff going on, that I look in the mirror and I would go directly to the flaws and directly to the imperfections and directly to where I accumulated my weight. And another thing that I had mentioned in my notes to you earlier was that when I was an adolescent, I was also trying to fulfill the need to feel loved and desirable through promiscuity and through sexual promiscuity. And so just a lot of crazy behavior that at the time I didn't realize was crazy, but certainly wasn't fulfilling what I needed. So then I jumped on YouTube, and that was really my first foray into what it meant to be whole food, plant-based, no oil. And so that's how I and that was like in 2011. So I really just started immersing myself into this whole food, plant-based world, and slowly but surely cutting out oil and getting an idea of what it meant to eat whole food, plant-based. But I just really was still struggling with me, with this part of me, and the self-acceptance, and I didn't want to see food as what I was battling with all the time, because I needed to eat. I needed to eat to be able to go and do the things that I wanted to do. And my husband and I are very active. We hike, we camp, we kayak, we do all those things. And finding a place where alcohol is no longer serving me. I part of the struggle I had a lot with Slim on Starch was finding a place, where does my alcohol fit in? And truly, it doesn't. And so going longer periods of time without it, and recognizing how that really feels so much better for me. So that's a process. That's a work in progress for me, for sure. I found you as I was going through YouTube, throughout the years, and I kind of was lurking for about a year, and I kept thinking, maybe I should check this out. And so I reached out to you and we had a consultation, and I thought, you know what? I've tried so many other things. Why not try this? And I found my home.
I'm so thrilled that you did. And I applaud you for being brave enough to dig into the mindset side of things and recognizing that I can get the food down and my food can look perfect. But if this isn't something that I feel at peace with, then this whole wellness thing isn't going to work. I often see that people will exclusively focus on food and they'll just do the diet plan, diet plan, diet plan, or they'll exclusively focus on mindset and go to talk therapy, just focus on therapy and not
Yeah.
focus on anything. But these two things go hand in hand. We have to focus on both of these. And that's what you decided to do by entering this program.
Yep, exactly. And I have to tell you that my mindset coach was integral in this process for me. I just loved Ashley. She was real. She was validating. She called me out when I needed to be called out in a loving way. And it just felt so good. It felt good. I felt like, oh, I'm going to cry. This is where I needed to be. This is exactly what I needed to merge, to make this be a holistic experience, because it is all about mindset for me. After, because I said, like you said, I've got the nutrition part dialed in. I know about my plate builders. I mean, I have names for it now, and I have a context and a framework, which has really been helpful. Hunger fullness cues. It's like, what was that? And, so that's, food is fuel. Food is secondary. It's a secondary food, so that I can do my primary foods. It's about perspective.
Well, that's a good segue into talking about what you achieved through our work together, because one of the things that you said that you achieved was really gaining a confident understanding of food's place in your life. Do you want to speak about that a little bit more?
Yeah, you talk about having food gasms, right? And I just know that I have other ways to achieve that same experience, that same euphoria, that same high that you get from food through my primary foods, through my being out in nature. Being with my husband out in nature is probably one of my favorite things to do. Another favorite thing to do for me is I love to food prep. I love to cook. The kitchen is where I spend most of my time, and it's just a lovely place for me to be. I feel like it's zen. I'm in my element. I love to socialize, and I'm learning. That's been the hardest part for me, is learning how to negotiate the food part of it when I'm out socializing, and the alcohol part of it. So much of my socializing has been around food and alcohol. So read your Nantucket vlog was so important for me, in that you just figure out what you're going to need to do in order to satisfy your hunger and your fuel, so that you could go and experience the social part of it. So that's been a huge part of me as well. Learning how to make food not be the primary focus in everything I do. It helps me be more human, and it helps me be more present in my everyday life. I don't know if that answered the question.
You did beautifully. Food is no longer the centerpiece, and it's no longer, as you said, the culprit. Food, for many, many people that I work with, it's their absolute best friend and it's their worst enemy. Can you speak a little bit more to what you meant when you said food is no longer the culprit? I am in charge of my nutrition and how it affects me.
I think for many years, in the calorie restriction mindset, food was the enemy. Food was it was such a conflict that you needed to eat, because we got to eat. That's what we do to survive, right? But I know that I have to eat, and I get to choose based on information and wellness and wisdom and guidance through this program. I know that food I can eat as much as I need to and want to and still be healthy by making those choices that are based on calorie density, what are based on nutritionally dense foods. And um, and that's a beautiful thing. Food is a beautiful thing in that respect. Instead of, buying that lean cuisine and thinking, oh my God, I only get to have a lean cuisine and that's it until the next lean cuisine or the next slim fast shake or, those things. No, food is just, it's so, I love food now and I love how it tastes and I love how to prepare it and I love how I feel when I eat. Making good choices, I feel lighter and my digestion is so dialed in and I feel at peace. Yeah.
You are free, you are liberated because no longer yeah, no longer is food the threat of, oh no, I can't have too many calories, but I have to eat. And it's also no longer, oh, those food gasms. I just want food to be the centerpiece and I want to experience the high of eating it. That is such an exhausting pickle to be in where you don't
Yes.
want to eat too much because you're trying to lose weight, but at the same time, oh, the pleasure from those high calorie foods. And it seems like there's not a way out because, like you said, you do have to eat. But what if we could use all of this to our advantage? We can eat hearty portions. We can enjoy our foods. We just change the food that we're eating. And that's what we do in SOS. We eat lots of foods. We love the foods that we eat. And we still get to have those food gasms, just it's on sweet potatoes and not on processed foods.
Exactly. Exactly.
I asked you
Yeah.
a question of what did you achieve that you weren't anticipating achieving? Because I know you came in and weight loss was going to be a bonus if that was the case, but really wanting to alleviate the confusion around food and to achieve total mastery with your relationship with food and your relationship with yourself. So in pursuit of that, what did you achieve that you weren't expecting to achieve?
I lost 8 pounds, which I've been able to maintain effortlessly, um, which is mind blowing. But it's still kind of like, yeah, thank you, I'll take it. I am so ecstatic that I have this sense of freedom. I have this sense of feeling at home in my body. Whew. I don't know if I've ever been able to say that this is the sweet body that I was given and I need to take care of it. And it has gotten me to this point in my life. And instead of hating on it, I need to nourish it so that I can continue to go and do my things. And it will take me will take me to those places. That has been kind of a spiritual experience for me. It has been a beautiful revelation that I made this happen. And I mean, I'm not going to swear. I swear like a sailor. But how cool is that? Yeah.
You just said a phrase which makes me say it clicked with her. She got it. It clicked. You said,
Yep.
I get to eat all of these SOS foods so that I can go do all my primary foods. I can hike, I can camp, I can run, I can be with my husband, I can enjoy life. When a client says that, I'm like, yes, she gets it. It is the ticket to allow us to fully experience all of the senses that come with life, all, four other senses other than taste.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. It's just a really sweet place to be right now. And I'm going to do everything I can and everything I know I can to continue being in this place.
And that's why you're an
If
alumni.
yes, and if I derail, which, you know what, we're human and things happen, I have all the tools to get right back on without having to go down the rabbit hole and beating myself up. And it's like, no, I'm done doing that. I just know what I need to do. I know how to get back to feeling at home in my body again. Yeah.
What would you say to women that find themselves in a position that is similar to where you were before you started?
I think if they're considering the program or if they're sitting on the fence about getting in touch with you about Slim on Starch, just make the call. And, when I look back at all the money that I spent on all these other things, this was by far the most brilliant investment I have made. It was worth every penny, every penny.
Thank you for saying that. We have loved having you. And I'm so happy that I still get to see you every month. I just love our connection. I love what we've done here. You are so deserving of this. And I'm sure your husband is happy too, because he gets the best version of Jackie that he loves.
He does, and he gets to eat all my yummy food.
There you go. Anything else you want to chat about?
I just feel so fortunate, and I'm in such a place of gratitude right now, and um, peaceful. I started uh, getting back into a daily yoga practice and back to the gym and doing some resistance training. And I just find that it is so much easier to navigate my life being SOS and being in this place spiritually, nutritionally, emotionally, physically. It's just such a good place, and it's all because of everything I've learned through this program.
Health isn't
So
supposed to be so hard. At the beginning, it can be difficult to make those changes. It can be temporary discomfort so that you can get to this place where you can say, I worked hard to make those behavioral changes, but I did it. I sat with that temporary discomfort. I let my brain rewire. I said no to the drinks. I said no to the secondary foods that didn't serve me. And now I did all of that so that I can now say, I am at peace.
yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, Jackie. This was beautiful.
Thank you, Emmie. Thank you for your brilliance and your genius and your putting this program out there. It's helped me. It's helping lots of other people, and hopefully it will continue to get out there and reach other folks too.
Thank you. It takes two to tango, so you're the one that did it. So, give yourself one of those.
Okay.
If you made it to this point of the video, comment "set loose" because Jackie has been set loose from the shackles that food and body image and self-esteem had her in. If you want to be set loose as well, then click the link in the down bar to apply to work with me and my team. I love you, honeys, and I will see you in my next video.